Hi, welcome to Goodwater Vineyards. We're located in East Tennessee. We have about a little under 30 acres of grapes. This is one of our vineyards, totaling about 6 acres of grapes. We have Saval over here, Saval Blanc, runs all the way down the back. We have a blackberry patch that runs down the ditch. We use those blackberries in some of our wine. And then we have the Marquette grape. This is a pretty young vine right here, being the fourth leaf, so it's the fourth growing season. Hasn't even budded out yet. It's February. We start thinking about pruning, trash pruning, and right now it's about March 10th, and we've done most of our vineyards except this one and our muscadine. And we're taking off just the top part below the top wire, leaving a lot of buds right now so that the sugar can run up there first, and maybe they'll pop up there first before they do down here, in order to prevent a late frost from killing these buds. We're hoping that the ones at the end will pop first. Then we'll come back after risk of frost and we'll trim to about 5 buds on each cane. And here's a good example of a healthy cordon. It's nice and round, no ribboning, which means it looks like a ribbon and there's some deficiency going on. And you want to have about 4 to 5 canes every foot, so this really is a good example. And what we'll do is, once April 19th, we had our frost last year that took off. It killed the primary buds, which what you see here, that's gonna produce another shoot, kind of like this, because this is last year's wood. It'll have another shoot coming off here. And we have 1, 2, 3. It'll have a shoot with a leaf, or these are some grapes from last year that we left on. Pretty puny. It's still quite a young vine. So what usually happens is grapes will come off on one side, and directly opposite there'll be a petiole, which is the leaf stem. We call it a petiole. And then the leaf. And when we'll do another pruning in the summer, where we've got to pull off laterals and we've got to pull off those leaves. We don't have to, but if you have a really thick canopy, and these Marquettes are very vigorous, if we don't do that, then they'll shade all of the grapes and they won't get up to sugar enough to make decent wine. Here's a cut right here. This is my crew here, my head of the crew, Uncle Steve. He helped plant all the vineyards except for the first planting, and also helped build our winery. It's taken off as much as we can, but also leaving a lot. As much of the tendrils if these things are connected to the wire, we want to get that off, so that when we come back again and cut down to just 5 buds, we're not jerking everything off of the trellis and causing any of the new shoots to come off, because they're quite sensitive when they start growing. A Ravix index is a really great thing to use if you're growing different vines and you want to see how their growth extends every year, and this is proof of that. So if we use a Ravix index every year, we will come out and pick 4 or 5 vines in each vineyard and come out with a fishing scale and weigh each vine's cuttings. And we would take the trash prune that we do the first pruning, and then the second pruning in April, we'd weigh that too. Or we just probably leave 5 vines and weigh it all at once, since it's just 5. And wouldn't worry about the effect, but as long as we get the numbers. And then we can go in harvest time and weigh the clusters. And you weigh the pruning over the clusters, and that gives you an index number. And that really gives you a great idea of how much your plants have grown. Lots of cuttings is a good thing, but these are pretty crazy simply because they were frosted last year, and the grapes that did grow were very puny, and we decided they weren't worth the harvest, and we decided to let the plant grow, and we just chopped them off at the top, but the laterals all grew up again, and they're very vigorous plants. So our vines ended up becoming quite healthy, and